Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing fine and staying at home and also following social distancing. Today we will start with the second part of the chapter Transport of Food and Minerals in Plants. The topic that I will cover today is transport of water and minerals, that is how the water and minerals are transported from the roots to the aerial parts of the plants, that is to the leaves. Now, transport of water and minerals in plants occurs in three different levels. The first level is, of course, absorption of water and minerals in plants by root hairs. Here, the water and minerals is absorbed by the root from the soil. The second level is movement of water through cortex cells, or also known as cell to cell transport. Here the water is transported from one cell to the other. And third is conduction of water and ascent of sap, that is from the roots to leaves through the xylem. Now first we will start with absorption of water and minerals by root hairs. Now as I already told you, for the transport of water and minerals, the plant first needs to absorb the water and minerals from the soil. To do this, it uses root hairs. Now what are root hairs? These are specialized cells which absorbs water and minerals from the soil. It is an extension of the epidermal cell of the root. Okay. It is also covered with a very thin semi-permeable membrane which helps it in osmosis. And the third point is that it is filled with cell sap. Now what is cell sap? It is a watery liquid present inside the vacuole of the cell. Now first let us have a quick look at the diagram of the root hair. On the left is the normal version of the root hair as is seen with our naked eyes. On the right is the magnified version where you can see the epidermal cells and how it is elongated to form the root hair, the vacuole inside which the cell sap is present, and the normal parts of the cell, that is cell wall, cytoplasm, membrane and the nucleus. Now let me tell you about the adaptations of root hairs, how the root hairs has adapted to perform its function properly. The first adaptation is the semi-permeable membrane of the root hair. Now what does the semi-permeable membrane do? It permits the water and minerals to enter into the cell sap, but it does not allow them to come out of the cell. So this is the first adaptation. Second is the cell sap present in the root hairs. It is the second adaptation. What is its function? The cell sap in root hairs has higher salt concentration, because of which osmosis will occur and water from the soil will get absorbed into the cell. The third adaptation is the large vacuole. The large vacuole of root hair helps it to absorb much more amount of water. Okay. And the fourth adaptation is large surface area of absorption. As you can see in the diagram, numerous root hairs are present at one point. So this helps in increasing the surface area of the roots, which helps it in absorbing more amount of water. Now we come to the methods of absorption, that is by which methods does the root hair absorbs waters and minerals from soil. Now already we have studied about diffusion, osmosis and active transport in the previous video. Now we will learn how root hair uses these methods to absorb the minerals and water. Okay, so to absorb water, root hairs use two processes. First is diffusion, second is osmosis. Now what are these two also called? These are also passive transport. Now I have already told you that the cell sap contains higher salt concentration. Now how does that helps in diffusion and osmosis? See, in diffusion Water from soil enters the root hair by diffusion because concentration of water in soil is more than that in cell sap of root hair, because the cell sap has higher salt concentration. So, the water easily moves from the soil towards the cell sap. Then in osmosis, we all studied that the root hairs have a semi-permeable membrane. So, the cell membrane of root hairs acts as a semi-permeable membrane through which water molecules from the soil enters the cell sap, and these minerals and water are not able to move back to the soil because of this semi-permeable membrane. Now, the second thing, the root hair absorbs minerals by the process of the third method, active transport. Here the mineral ions move from their lower concentration in soil to higher concentration in the cell sap of root hairs, which is against concentration gradient, and it uses energy to do so. We have already studied what is active transport, and the root hair uses the same method to absorb minerals. That was all about the absorption of minerals and water by root hairs. Now, coming to the second level of the transport, that is movement of water through cortex cells. This is also known as short distance transport because the water is moving from the root hairs to the xylem vessels present in the root. So, this is short distance transport. Water absorbed by root hairs moves through the cortex cells of roots by cell to cell osmosis till it reaches the xylem vessels present in the root. Now, why we are using the term osmosis and not diffusion? Because we all know that plant cell contains cell membrane, which acts as a semi-permeable membrane, and thus the term osmosis. Also, osmosis prevents the backflow of the water. Okay. Next, coming to the third level of transport, that is conduction of water or ascent of sap. Now, it is also known as long distance transport. Why? Because the water and the sap is being transported from the roots to all the way till the tips of the leaves, to the aerial parts of the plants. So, this is known as long distance transport. Now, here you have to learn the term ascent of sap. Sap here means a dilute solution of minerals which contains both minerals and water. Okay. So, this is transported upwards from the root to the leaves. So, what is ascent of sap? It is the upward movement of water and minerals from the roots to the leaves. And which vascular tissue helps in ascent of sap? It's xylem vessels. Okay. Okay, one quick question. Have you ever seen water moving from lower level to higher level? The answer will obviously be no. Yeah. Water or liquids cannot move from lower level to higher level without a pressure. So, how can this sap ascend from lower to higher level without a pressure? So, here comes root pressure, which is the initial pushing force, which helps the xylem vessels to transport the sap from roots to leaves. Now, what is root pressure? It is a force or the hydrostatic pressure generated in the root that helps in driving water upwards in the xylem vessels. This pressure occurs due to the accumulation of minerals or solutes in the xylem, which forces the water to move into the xylem cells, and thus a hydrostatic pressure is created. With this, we come to the end of this topic. I will also attach the pages of the book. So, those of you who don't have the book can read the text after watching this video, so that you understand the things better. Now, we have two more topics left, that is transpiration and importance of minerals, which I will take up in the next video. Till then, stay at home and stay safe.